Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot. Oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girls. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Here's your host, paranormal researcher Patricia Baker, on the one, the only Supernatural Girls.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girls. I'm your host, Patricia Baker. I am here with my lovely co-host, all the way from Tucson.
For you.
Miss Patricia Kirkman, PK. How are you tonight?
Doing fine, my dear, doing fine. Enjoying a semi-strange day. It's a little cool, but not too bad. So I'm just kind of enjoying it. It's before the worst to come, as we know, because it's wintertime now.
That's right.
I'm still expecting sunshine and all that good stuff.
So tell us about the numbers, and then I'm going to go into a little bit of sharing about the UFO experience we had here.
Yes, definitely. I passed that on to a couple people to see it. I was there going, what?
Yeah.
Yes, it did. Thank God your husband got a new camera.
I know, the best of the best, really.
That's right. Well, he deserved the best. He's got you.
Hey, you're not kidding. Now you said it all.
Got a doubt in my mind, kiddo.
Said it all.
I had a couple of calls asking me again about retrograde.
It's coming.
It's the most mind-boggling for many of us. So retrograde actually just started on the 25th. It will last 3 weeks long this time. So those that are in the fire signs are going to find it difficult to see themselves clearly or take actions of what they need to. We're going to find those that are in the earth signs are going to push themselves to revisit resentments, familiar disagreements, and emotional boundaries. So, hey, folks, get that little pad of paper out, make your notes, fix it. Let's take care of it so you don't have to carry it around for the next couple of years. So then we've got our air signs. Communication clashes, so watch your mouths. You're going to have a lot of things to say. Most social and interpersonal parts of their chart are going to pop up when you least expect it. So you kind of be a little more cognizant of what comes out is going to make a mark somewhere. Then the water signs, they're going to have to work out matters where money's affecting them, and it's going to have a lot to do with more with that than anything else. So be careful making financial investments and taking things. So I thought, well, this is what we're all facing, a retrograde, and each one of us are facing it a little bit different. But the most important thing is to be cautious of what you've got, take care of what you say. And God, if you're not sure of what you're saying, zip your lip. Afterwards, you'll be grateful that you did. It's too easy to just jump right out there right now. Especially with the holidays coming, everybody's going to have possibly a little libation, and that's going to loose lip sync ships type thing. So let's be a little cautious of what we do, folks. Enjoy the holiday and enjoy your time with family, but be a little cognizant of what comes out of what goes in.
Yeah, really. It's like you don't want to do the open mouth insert foot routine. Definitely don't want to do that.
It's so easy right now because everybody's worn out. The election took its toll on everybody. What's going on right now, people aren't sure which direction to go. And everybody thinks that they're losing. I don't care what side you're on. You still think you've lost out on something. No, you haven't. Take a deep breath. Take a look at where you are, what you're doing. Be your new best friend. Wake up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, hey, what can I do for you today? Instead of taking a look and saying, oh, look what they did to me. Huh?
No victim mentality here. None.
Definitely not.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for sharing that. So, as you know, those of you who are following us on Facebook and Twitter, please follow us if you're not, and give us a like and a follow on our YouTube channel also.
Right.
But we saw quite the UFO.
I
This is
know.
Friday evening, about 5:50 p.m. I normally don't look outside when it's dark. I was going into the kitchen to make dinner. Just so happened to turn my head and I saw a light in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
which I hadn't seen previously in that spot. So I said to my husband, hey, get your camera. Let's go out and take some pictures. It was freezing out there. So we're standing on the balcony because we were, did this so quickly. We didn't grab coats. We just ran out there. And he has a brand new iPhone 16 camera. So the camera was unbelievable on this thing. So he took 2 videos and several pictures. And we were very taken with what came out. Now, I sent it to our dear friend, Bob Luca, who's a UFO expert after everything he's been through. He's actually the first call I made. And he said to me, he said, this is a bona fide UFO. There's no question.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of the triangular ships. It's one of ours. It's definitely one of theirs. So it was quite exciting. Now, the weird part of it is you will hear on the video a train going by. Now, when we were out there, we didn't hear anything. There is a train that's about a mile, train tracks a mile from us. The train does travel that way. But when we were standing outside taking pictures, we heard nothing. Now, in the train video, it sounds like it's right next door to us. So I sent it to Jeff Flora, who's a great audio guy, to have him listen to it and see what he thinks is going on. Why is this thing so loud? Because it's never this loud. Even when we're outside closer to it, it never, ever is that loud. So there's something strange about that, something strange about the fact that we didn't hear it when we were out there. So, Chanel, would you be so kind as to play that tape?
Yes.
Now, that's the one. So, yet, now that if I was standing out there and the train went by and it sounded like that, I would hear it. But I didn't hear it. My husband didn't hear it. So there was something going on. And I know everybody talks about this when there's a paranormal event. Oftentimes when you're outside, all the sound goes dead.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear anything. You don't hear birds. You don't hear insects. You don't hear anything. That's what it was like. So we were shocked when we heard this. Now, I did call the train company, which is CSX, and I asked if they had a train passing through at that time. And I talked to somebody in the local office, and they said they don't have schedules, so he has no idea, which I thought was kind of strange. Don't you know when your trains are where they are when they're traveling?
So.
Oh, no, we don't. So then I called corporate, and I'm going to see if they can give me some better information. So we'll see. I'm not done investigating this. It was a lot of fun to see it. It didn't feel threatening.
That's for sure. When you sent me the picture of it, I was in shock and amazement.
Yeah, it's very, very clear what this was. And in the video, when you play it on a large screen computer, and even a smaller screen, you can see all of the energy swirling around and coming off this thing. You can see the photographs. They are on the Facebook page for Supernatural Girls, and the video is there as well. And you can make it larger if you'd like on your own software and let us know what you think. But quite a few people were interested in it. So anyways, well, let's get to our fabulous guest.
Yes.
George Lizos. He is all the way from Cyprus. He is still in Cyprus. He is calling us and videoing us from Cyprus. Now, he's really, really an interesting man. And
yes, he is.
He has a new book out. And this is an important book about manifestation. There it is. Okay, Ancient Manifestation Secrets. And everybody knows we're all into manifestation. We want to hear something new, different, and powerful, and we have it for you tonight. So George is a spiritual teacher. He is a psychic healer, Greek pagan priest, and the creator of Intuition Mastery School. The author of Be the Guru, Lightworkers Gotta Work, Protect Your Light, and Secrets of Greek Mysticism. He is the host of the Lit Up Lightworker and Can't Host podcasts. Named one of the top 50 health and wellness influencers by Health Blog Awards. He regularly teaches workshops and online courses. And again, he lives in Cyprus. How exotic is that? George, welcome to the show.
Hello, Patricia and PK. Thank you so much for having me. It's lovely to be here.
Well,
it's a pleasure, for sure.
Great to have you here. So, do tell, how did you get into the manifestation aspect of all of this?
Oh gosh, like most people, I got into like conscious manifestation when the book and the movie The Secret came out, and I was fascinated with like the law of attraction, and I wanted to learn how to create my own life. But like most people as well, once they get into the law of attraction, they realize it's not as easy as it looks like. It's not just about faking until you're making it. It's not just about just obsessing about something and then manifesting it. So I experimented for a while with so many different practices. And although I was manifesting successfully with like vision boards and positive affirmations, manifestation boxes, scripting, and all the wonderful like bells and whistles of the manifestation community, I felt something was missing. I felt that the soul was missing from the manifestation practice. I was manifesting out of a state of ego, like, okay, let me see what kind of things can I get, rather than let me see how I can follow my purpose. Let me see how I can align my desires to what my soul came here to do in this lifetime. And then right about that time in 2017, that's when I transitioned to the religion and the spiritual traditions of my ancestors, the ancient Greeks. And I became a priest to Hellenic polytheism. And I had been a New Ager for a while before that. I'm like, okay, let's wonder what the ancient Greeks like taught about manifestation, because we hear that it's been practiced since the ancient times. So I search into the ancient texts, into the philosophical schools, and I find out that the ancient Greeks, of course, famously taught about manifestation in a philosophical school in later antiquity called Hermeticism, that combined the spiritual tradition of the ancient Greeks and the ancient Egyptians. So diving into Hermeticism, I discovered that it's not just about the law of attraction. There are more universal laws out there that we can use to manifest. Specifically, there are 7 main universal laws of manifestation. And that's when my manifestation practice took a completely different turn.
Wow. Well, it sounds like it's more in alignment with who you are also, your roots.
Exactly. It's aligned to my ancestry. And I've always believed that when we align our spiritual practice to the practice of our ancestry or ancestries, then we can tap into so much more wisdom, because we have energetic connections connecting us to ancestors, to the land we grew up into. And when we activate those energetic cords, we receive all the wisdom.
Right. So you're seeing a big change in how you're manifesting. You're manifesting in alignment with your soul, with your soul's purpose. Can you give us an example of, say, for example, something you manifested before and what you manifest today?
Yeah, well, let me tell you how I manifested this book, because I actually wrote this book in 2021 and it's only coming out now 4 years later. So here is a story. I go to Delphi in Greece and I book a cottage for 10 days. I sit there facing the temple of Delphi and channeling essentially this book. Like, it's partly research based and partly channeling the specific practices, the energetic practices. I write this book. I'm so excited. I pitch it to my publisher at the time. And my publisher says, it's too advanced. People are not ready for this right now. Why don't you write a book about the Greek gods and goddesses instead? I'm like, okay. So I park this book and I started researching a new book about the Greek gods and goddesses, Secrets of Greek Mysticism. So Secrets of Greek Mysticism came out this year as well in April. And then a few months later, I released this one. Now, what happened in between? Right after my publisher rejected essentially ancient manifestation secrets, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to let a publisher dictate like when I'll publish this book. I'm just going to there's a quote by Kris Jenner. She says, if someone says no, you're talking to the wrong person. I'm like, well, wrong publisher then.
Right.
I'm going to search and
Perfect.
find out like the right publisher for this book. And it so ended up being that this book came out after Secrets of Greek Mysticism that I wrote later, actually. And it was all divinely planned. It was all divine timing there, because my audience had to read Secrets of Greek Mysticism first to learn about the ancient Greeks as an introduction before they're ready to embrace ancient manifestation secrets. That's essentially a more advanced book on a very specific niche within the ancient Greek religion and spirituality. So how is this manifestation the new way of manifesting? I work with all of the laws of the universe. It wasn't just the law of attraction, obsessing over something, and if it doesn't manifest, oh, I got it wrong. I realized that there is also another law called the law of cause and effect. And the law of cause and effect teaches that there are many causes in the manifestation of something. One of the causes is our vibrational frequency, how we think and feel, but there are other causes as well, such as karmic contracts, karmic curses, timing, collective intentionality, our life purpose, our soul purpose, UFOs. There are so many different kind of energies that are just coming in to affect manifestation. So if we only expect that it's just a law of attraction, and then if it doesn't manifest, we got it wrong, then we miss the point there and we lose our opportunities. So that's like a fun story, a very meta kind of story of how this book came to be.
It is a wonderful story. But here's the thing. I know with The Secret, I found it very disappointing because it didn't work for a lot of people. And it seems like there's got to be a better way. And I think you may have found it. But it also, for most people, it can't be complicated. You know, it's like, is there some simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps that you can tell us about? Kind of, I know we need to read the book, obviously, to get the whole spirit of this. But what can you tell people tonight as we're coming into holidays and hopefully wishes coming true? What would you tell our audience about this? How do you do it?
Yes, let me rephrase something. It's not complicated, it's complex. And it's different in the sense that when you know the full story, it can be more complex, but not complicated because then you know. So let me share the 5-step process, the 5-step manifestation process, essentially, that I teach in the book. So the traditional process taught in The Secret and by many other teachers is ask, believe, receive. Ask for what you want, believe it by faking it, and then the universe will deliver and then you'll receive it. My process is the other way around. So instead of starting with ask, we start with step number 1, raise your vibration. That essentially has to do with aligning yourself with your soul's desire, aligning yourself with the frequency of source, the frequency of your soul. Why? Because only when you align yourself to the frequency of who you truly are, can you receive the desires that you're meant to manifest, that your soul chose to manifest before you were born. In your pre-birth plan, you had a specific intentionality about the lessons and the karmic contracts that you came here to manifest. So when you first align yourself with who you really are in the vibrational frequency of your source, then you find your life purpose. And I guide people through a process of identifying what their life purpose is, and then receiving those specific desires. And then we move into step number 2, clarify your desires. Finding your life purpose and finding desires that are aligned with that life purpose. Now, what is our life purpose? It is a very specific mission that our soul came here to fulfill in this lifetime. And it's very specific, and it's something that only we can fulfill. Nobody else can do it. So when our desires are aligned to that, it's so much easier to manifest them versus trying to manifest something that it's in misalignment with our life purpose. So we've raised our vibration, we've clarified our desires. Step number 3, release your limiting beliefs. Popular manifestation teachings say that focus on the positive, ignore the negative, and that's the most important thing, because negative thoughts and emotions block manifestation. BS. Because, yes, it's important to be positive, but when a negative emotion or a thought or a belief has manifested within you because you've been traumatized in your childhood, because you've lived life and you've had negative experiences, you cannot hide or suppress or avoid the limiting belief. It is within you. You have to do something about it. You can deny it, you can avoid it, but it's going to show up at some point and it's likely going to sabotage something in your life. So you might as well face it rather than avoiding it through toxic positivity and spiritual bypassing. So in the book, I teach, because I have a degree, a master's in psychology, and I'm a trained trauma specialist. I work with different cognitive practices to like dealing with limiting beliefs and emotions. So I teach an eye movement process, integral eye movement therapy, that's all about processing negative emotions and beliefs, not denying them. So that's step number 3. Step number 4, nurture the energy of your desires. This is where it gets woo-woo. I believe that every desire is like an orb. It has an energy, and we are the hosts, that the desires chose us. So when they come into our energy field, we can invite them in. We can open the door and say, come in, let me take care of you. And we nurture the energy of our desires by sending them our own energy, by creating energy cords that connect them with people, with entities, including like starseeds and aliens who can help in their manifestation, connecting them with different companies and people that can become cooperative components to their manifestation. And then step number 4, after we've nurtured the frequency and the energy of those desires, is we take inspired action, because the world doesn't change sitting in meditation pillows all day long. We gotta take action. Many spiritual people are like, oh, I'm just like raising my vibration and raising the vibration of the world. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're raising the vibration of your room. To truly create change in the world, you gotta take action. You gotta get out of your room, into the real world, do things like this podcast, for example, so we can bring like some change. So this is my simple 5-step, complex but not complicated, 5-step process to manifesting.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful and easy to do. And I love the eye movement therapy. The eye movement therapy, I think, is extremely powerful. And I wish more therapists would use it, because talk therapy on its own really doesn't do it. You need to engage the body, the brain. You just can't talk your way out of it. So I think that's a great therapy to use. Tapping is another. I like eye movement therapy better. Yep.
I like tapping as well. I use tapping. I use journaling. There's so many fabulous practices we can use. But I wanted to include something new, something fresh, because there's so much information out there about tapping, which is great. But the reason I came upon eye movement therapy is a few years ago, I had a nervous breakdown where traumas from my childhood traumas, sexual traumas got triggered, and I couldn't deal with them with my traditional tools. And I didn't know where to turn. And somebody told me about EMDR, which is like an eye movement process that's like peer-reviewed and currently the most effective process to dealing with PTSD. But this process was drawing from EMDR, but also combining NLP and different other things. It was called IEMT, Integral Eye Movement Therapy. So in 4 sessions, I dealt with and processed so much trauma, and I discovered a whole new version of myself. So I'm like, I gotta know how this works. So I trained as a practitioner and then as an advanced practitioner, and I actually got permission from the creator, the founder of the process, to include it in the book. So it's a really powerful process to quickly change your identity. Whenever we make statements like that start with I, that have pronouns, I, me, myself. For example, I'm not good enough. That's a common one that many people have. Whenever there's an I there, that means we've learned to identify as someone who feels that way. I've learned to identify someone who's not good enough, for example. And then when we start asking questions, which is part of the process, when you think of I, that's not good enough, where is I in the body? Because the body keeps a score, as we know.
Right.
I is in the heart, for example. How old is I in the heart? And what's happening around 5-year-old I in the heart? Then the body starts revealing those traumatic memories and those experiences that taught us to think and feel that way. And with the eye movements, you reprogram the mind to think in a different way. And that's how you transmute your limiting beliefs rather than avoid them because you're afraid you're going to manifest them.
Right. Well, it makes perfect sense. I'm sure they have researched a lot of lottery winners, and they get the big win, but you go visit them 3 years later, they have no money left.
Right.
Yeah.
And, the vibration didn't hold over time. So it was a match for that one moment of getting the right ticket, but there was nothing to sustain that vibration. So yeah, you're so right. You have to work on releasing whatever's in your way. So that's a very powerful technique that you're using with your clients. Now, how can people reach you if they want to work with you on these things?
True.
So my website, georgelizos.com, I have like one-on-one sessions that I work with people. And well, to get the book, they can go to ancientmanifestationsecrets.com and actually have a free workshop that I'm giving away to everybody who gets the book. It's a past life regression to access your past lives where you had mastered manifestation and retrieve those skills in your current lifetime. I use past life regression in an empowering way, not just like to see what you were in a past life. I use it to heal past life traumas, to find your life purpose, and to retrieve skills, wisdom, and knowledge.
That's wonderful. What a nice gift for everybody. Gosh, that's tremendous. Well, now tell us, do you call upon the Greek gods to help with manifestation? Do you integrate that energy?
You could. I teach manifestation with the Greek gods and goddesses in my book, Secrets of Greek Mysticism. And specifically, I talk about having a new moon ritual and a full moon ritual. And of course, those are ancient rituals. It's not just a new age thing. I always say new age is very, 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 very old age. Because it goes all the way back. Okay. So the ancient Greeks had a moon calendar, essentially, a moon month, like lunar months. Mm-hmm. So the first day of the month was a new moon, and they called that Numenia. That is the name, the Greek word for the new moon, Numenia. And it was dedicated to god Apollo and the household gods. And it was a sacred day, the most sacred day of all days of the month. Plutarch said that the Numenia is the holiest of days. No governmental or state things would take place. People would just stay home, clear their altars, clean their homes, set their intentions, and just celebrate the household gods, Hestia, Hermes, Zeus, Hecate, and Apollo. And then almost every single day of the moon cycle was dedicated to a different god. So we're like, we think we're so spiritual when we do a new moon ritual and a full moon ritual, but think about doing a ritual every single day of the moon cycle because it's dedicated to a different god. So imagine the connection they had to the moon. And it shows you that the moon has power because it has a frequency that affects the earth. We know that it draws like water, and it causes us to like our emotions to be more intense, for example. So there is a different frequency that the moon brings. And then all the way to the full moon, where the ancient Greeks practiced, like, again, rituals, connecting with nature and releasing and surrendering. So in the book, I have a new moon ritual and a full moon ritual calling upon Selene, the Greek goddess of the moon, as well as Tyche, the goddess fortune, essentially. That's the Roman equivalent, Fortuna, fortune. She is the goddess of luck. And I use sacred practices to bring the gods into the altar to help us manifest specific desires. Mm-hmm. But what I do in Ancient Manifestation Secrets, I don't talk about the gods and goddesses. I wanted it to be completely like non-denominational. I talk about the 7 laws of the universe and how to manifest through those universal principles, essentially.
What is the, I don't mean to have you expose every great thing that's in your book, but in the 7 laws that you're talking about, what do you feel is a law that most people either don't know about or they break all the time and it hurts their manifestation capability?
Yeah. Now, let's briefly go through all the laws just to understand what they're all about, because I think that's really important, because we're all talking about the law of attraction, law of attraction, law of attraction, law of attraction. And I hear people say law of attraction is the most powerful law in the universe. And I'm like, it's not. It's not more powerful, for example, than gravity. You cannot fall upwards, however hard you try to visualize that. You're only going to fall downwards because there are universal laws, the laws of biology and physics that are not more powerful, that are more powerful than the law of attraction. So the first one is, and these are the hermetic laws of the universe. The first one is the law of mentalism. The law of mentalism teaches that the all is mind, the universe is mental. Essentially, anything we manifest starts with a thought, a mental idea, essentially an intention. So we intend for something to happen. And these laws, by the way, are at the basis of all creation. When you think about anything that's created, it's created from an intention, an idea to create something. And then the second law is the law of correspondence, saying that as above, so below, as below, so above. Very cliche. We all know that. It comes from ancient Hermeticism. The law of correspondence teaches that there is correspondence and therefore communication in the different planes of existence. We have the physical plane of existence, the mental plane of existence, and the spiritual plane of existence, different beings existing in the different planes. And there is correspondence between them, meaning we can receive guidance and help from our spirit guides, from star seeds, from ascended masters, from gods and goddesses. We can receive help. It's not just us. We're not alone. The third law is the law of vibration, which is known as the law of attraction, which says that nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. We all know that in the sense that everything has a vibrational frequency. And when you match your own vibrational frequency with the vibrational frequency of already having what you want, you draw it into your life. That is a law of vibration/attraction. And then the fourth law is the law of polarity. The law of polarity teaches that everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Essentially, whatever it is you're experiencing, let's say, for example, you're depressed, you have access to the opposite emotion or the opposite state, because there is a stick. Think of this stick, this scale that has two poles, and you are somewhere in this scale. Wherever you are on the scale, you have access to every single point on that scale. So if you are experiencing illness, you have access to health. If you're experiencing poverty, you have access to abundance. Knowing this is powerful because you know you can move up the scale or down the scale consciously. The fifth law is the law of rhythm, teaching that everything flows out and in, everything has its tides, all things rise and fall. Basically, the law of rhythm says that imagine this spectrum that we talked about, okay, the scale, and there is a pendulum, and the pendulum swings back and forth. That's the law of rhythm. It's a law of rhythm in life. Our economy goes through a boom and a recession. We go through ice ages and then warmer periods of time. We have days when we feel good and days when we feel bad. It's just the rhythm of life, and it just flows like a pendulum, going from one side of the scale to the other side of the scale, but not necessarily in the same degree. It doesn't go all the way to the pole and then all the way to the other pole of that scale. That means that we can, with practices that I teach in the book, rise above the downward swing of the pendulum when we're feeling negative, for example, and rise ourselves above that so we're feeling more positive and sustain our positive state of feeling, even if the swing is swinging towards the negative side. The sixth law is the law of cause and effect, my favorite one and the most applicable, in the sense that it says that every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Now, law of attraction teaches that it's that the law of attraction and vibrational frequency, it's the single cause to our effect, the manifestation. And therefore, our thoughts and our emotions manifest our reality, period. I disagree with that. I believe that yes, our thoughts and emotions do manifest our reality, but there are other things in place as well. We have karmic contracts, meaning decisions we made before we were born about what we wanted to experience in this lifetime. Our soul chose to experience certain lessons that we cannot escape, that are fated to happen. The opportunities of them are fated to happen. Of course, we have free will, and we can choose to avoid a lesson if we want to and not learn it, but we're going to come back and learn it in a different lifetime. So why go through that struggle? But there are karmic contracts in place. There are karmic curses in place, meaning there are psychic attacks that span lifetimes. Someone cursed us in a previous lifetime, and we were dealing with the effect of it in this lifetime. We have karmic relationships, and therefore contracts we have with other people we need to fulfill. We have our soul purpose, a purpose fulfilled over a series of lifetimes. We cannot just jump to a different purpose. Our soul has a purpose. We need to follow it. And also we have collective manifestation. We all manifested COVID together. Nobody avoided that. Nobody was such a strong manifestor to not manifest living in a world with COVID. So there is collective intentionality playing into place as well. And then finally, we have the law of gender that says that gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Now, gender in this state is a process of creation, the process of gendering. And essentially, the masculine and feminine energies are the energies of creation. Masculine energy being more forward, taking action, active, rigid structure, and then feminine energy being more about receiving, trusting, unstructured activities that are both needed in creating anything. We cannot just work. We need to work and rest, receive guidance, use that guidance to take inspired action. So this is a quick summary of the 7 laws of the universe.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for sharing that. This is all in your book. Again, the title of your book, please tell us, and I'll have Chanel put it back up on the screen.
It is Ancient Manifestation Secrets, yes.
Yes. Beautiful cover, by the way.
It is.
Thank you. I designed it.
Ah, of course you did. It feels like you. It feels like your energy.
I mean, look at me.
I know, really. It's perfect. Beautiful. So when you work with people a lot, it sounds like, and you come across people who are sabotaging their own manifestation process,
Mm-hmm.
what do you find, again, is the most common saboteur for people?
That I don't deserve something. I am not good enough. I'm not read enough. I need to read another book. I need to take another course. I need to go to university. I need to do this. Other people are better. So we after we've exhausted the I statements, we can go to, other people are better than me. Other people have already done that. And I'm like, if someone like me, that English is my second language, up until I was 15 years old, I didn't speak English, managed to have an international career as an author and have 5 books published, then anybody can do anything. It's just a matter of believing it. I mean, within the boundaries, because something I teach in the book as well is that we cannot manifest everything we want because certain things are not meant to manifest. We cannot fly, for example. We cannot change the color of our eyes at will. There are certain things that have to work within universal laws. Right. But to a great degree, we can manifest many things, especially when those things are aligned to our life purpose. That's why I really encourage people, don't just manifest out of your ego. Just say, I want this car. I mean, you can have the car, but don't obsess so much on the car and then it's not manifesting, but you're resisting it. If the universe is pointing you to a different direction and telling you, you know what, focus on this because that's aligned to what you came here to be and do.
Oh, it makes sense. Total sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it also makes more room to incorporate your spiritual path, which there wasn't much room for that with The Secret and all that stuff. So, yeah. But it
was very one-sided, yes.
Yeah, it really was. But you're also a psychic healer. So yes. Tell us about this gift that you have.
So I don't see it as a gift. I see it as a skill because I believe that everybody can do it. Everybody is born psychic. People are born in different degrees psychic. So we all have talents and things we've been developing over many lifetimes. But anybody can learn it because I don't feel I was naturally gifted as a kid. You hear these stories with people when I was a kid, my grandma used to visit me and I saw all these spirits and I couldn't fall asleep because all these spirits were chasing me. I'm like, I slept peacefully as a kid. I had no spirits trying to contact me. I did not see aliens. I don't see anything. It was just, I worked my ass off. I worked my ass off to develop my psychic abilities and do this work. So I tend to work with people who feel like they're not intuitive and they're not psychic and they want to learn. So I have tools to help them like get there. So one of the works of the types of work I do in my intuition mastery school is I train intuitives and psychics on how to do this. So essentially the way that I work as a psychic healer is I scan people's energy field, their chakras, their aura, and I'm able to identify blocks. Sometimes there are blocks from this lifetime, whether they're traumas, for example, or limiting beliefs, or they could be related to like their past lifetimes, like karmic curses and contracts, connections they have to like people and places, psychic attacks, spirits attaching to their energy field and siphoning away their energy, demonic attacks. So there are so many things that can essentially lower our vibrational frequency. And my book, Protect Your Light, was all about that, energetic protection and how to protect your energy field from all the spirits and all the people around you. And then after we identify all that's stuck in the energy field, then we use different practices to clear them, to release them from their energy field. And that's what I do in my private sessions. I do like psychic clearing sessions. But what I wanted to do, because the next step to clearing is aligning. So what I do in Ancient Manifestation Secrets, I still guide people to work with their energy field, but instead of clearing things, you're planting things. You're planting your desires in your energy field. You're connecting your desires in your body and your energy field with people, with entities, with things, frequencies essentially, that can help those desires manifest. Because it's so easy to talk about, I have so many things I need to clear, like the traumas and everything. Great. Do the clearing. I teach the clearing as well. But then when you're a blank energetic canvas, what do you do with that? When you have a beautiful garden with a perfect soil, what do you do with it? You plant seeds and you grow them. So that's what we do in this book. We grow those seeds.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, you're giving people a whole new way of approaching this, which is wonderful. Because, you know, when we have this blank slate or this beautiful garden waiting to be landscaped, it's really tempting for people to go back into old habits and do the same old thing all over again. So negative self-talk, which I hear that all the time. You know, people in my age group, they're always talking about not being able to remember, not being able to get up in the morning easily. And it's like it becomes a hamster wheel of negative reinforcement.
Very true.
Yeah. And that's why we need to have tools to be able to handle it and to process things rather than avoiding them. We're just so used to avoiding. I see this all the time in reality TV, because that's my reflection of reality. Like Real Housewives, for example. As soon as someone starts crying, I'm like, oh no, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Like, why not? Like, cry. Like, get it out of your system. Like, let yourself express your emotions.
Right.
I'm all about crying. When my clients cry, first of all, I'm like, thank goodness I did my job well. Like, right. They're releasing something.
Yes, that's true.
And then I'm like, I pause them, not to stop them from crying. I'm like, please go get a tissue. You don't want to ruin your makeup. But cry.
Yeah. Now, when I worked with clients years ago, I used to say, you get a gold star for this.
There we go.
There's your reward. Yeah. Yeah. Because we try to block out feelings, or we try to weaponize feelings in our culture. And neither way is helpful. And it doesn't work. So it has to be a power with situation, not a power over. And it's not something people are used to.
Yes. And I feel that we're afraid of our negative emotions because we think that they're going to manifest something. That's the number one fear people have, like when they manifest, like, oh, unthink this, unfeel this, because it's going to manifest. I'm like, you cannot unthink it or unfeel it. It's already part of you. So you might as well release it. Because when we express our emotions, we don't manifest them. We release them. We acknowledge them. And then when they're released, this is like the golden statement here. All the negative emotion wants is to be heard and acknowledged. After it's heard and acknowledged, it loses its power, it transcends, and then you're able to feel something better.
Right. Right. And that's the key. So then when you get your whole garden replanted the way you want it, it's a lot easier to maintain that way. And you can notice when you're letting weeds grow and you're letting these weeds take over again. Oh, there's those thoughts again that I don't deserve it or whatever. And it's polluting my garden. So it's nice to have that imagery to work with too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to know that our limiting beliefs and our issues will be coming up over and over again, and that's okay, because there are different layers of them that are released each time we approach them. People are telling me, oh, I've been dealing with this like my entire life. Is it like still here? Like I've been trying to release this limiting belief for so long. Why is it still like bothering me? Because you're releasing different layers of it, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. Like it takes so long to like develop certain limiting beliefs. It may take as long to release them or not. It doesn't have to. But sometimes our limiting beliefs and our issues are multi-layered, and sometimes they go beyond this lifetime. I feel that a lot of the traumas that we have in this lifetime are collateral damage from past life traumas. That's what my experience has shown me. And because I combine like psychology, like academic, with spirituality and energy work, I coined a term PPTSD, past life PTSD. Because when I take people in their past lives and they have traumatic memories, I'm like, okay, let's work on those past life memories with like IEMT, eye movements, and we heal PPTSD, and that heals their PTSD in this lifetime. It's all interconnected.
Yes, there was a psychiatrist that wrote a book about that, I believe, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but his book was all about that people were living out a lot of the reactions that they still held to past life experiences.
Yes, it's Brian Weiss.
Too. Yes.
I think it's Dr. Brian Weiss,
yes,
which I love. Yeah, he did excellent work on popularizing and bringing past life regression to the mainstream.
Yes. Yeah, we need to have a wider perspective on life. It's not just this life. We're connected with so many other dimensions and realities. We have no idea really what we're connected to. So it's nice that you provided this book, and you also do workshops and everything else to help people to expand this so that they have more sense of a power and control over what is going on in their lives. You know, it's hard to imagine for some people, but a trauma from a past life can affect everything that's happening now. Do you have an example of that you could give us with something that you exposed with a client?
Oh, gosh, yes. I mean, so many stories and so many examples. One that comes up currently is I had a client who had a very traumatic experience in this lifetime where her dad was essentially like a murderer, and he would bring her like to see the dead bodies.
Oh my God.
And when she was a kid, and she was traumatized by all these images of like chopped up bodies. Essentially, it was intense even for me to like experience and like guide the whole session. But then when we did a past life regression on that, we identified that there was past life where she had a complicated relationship with her dad, and therefore she kept reliving that in this lifetime. So there are so many ways that our current lifetime can be interconnected with our past lifetime. And it's not easy to explore that. And I don't think it's necessary to understand exactly why something where something we experience is coming from. It's good to get an idea of that. But when it comes to like the negative stuff, I'm like, it's just stuff, and it's just leaving, and let's process it, and let's move through it. Let's not obsess over the negative. Release it, learn enough to understand it and process it and transmute it, but then let's focus on the positive. Let's move into something else.
Yes, and there's a lot of new science that's come out. I know Joe Dispenza's work really features that says if you keep going over the past, this is what happened, and this is how horrible it was, that nothing will change. It'll trap you. That's
Yes.
the box that you live in. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
because that's the other side of the game where spiritual people get obsessed with the inner work and they are just digging for things to like heal. And I'm like, if something is ready to be healed, it's going to show up. You don't have to search for it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. This is so fascinating talking with you, George.
Yes, it is.
Great stuff. Really great. Yeah. I mean, and you're so generous. You created all these wonderful books, and the most recent one that we're talking about tonight, but also that you're offering a free workshop to people who buy your book, that they could have this guided session with you. Now, obviously, you're in Cyprus, so you work with people by Skype or by Zoom, or how do you do this?
I work 100% online, so I work via Zoom. I was actually recently in New York City and I taught at the Omega Institute. I taught like a 5-day certification course on like psychic healing, which I was so excited about. And I hope to be able to like travel more and do more work in the States as well, because I really feel the pull.
Yes. Well, for us.
Yeah, it'd be great. There's a place here, Kripalu. And maybe
yes. It's definitely on my vision board.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Kripalu would be, you'd have a lot of fun there. It's very beautiful.
Yeah. I would love to, yes.
Although I can't imagine anything compares to where you live now in Cyprus.
I mean, it's beautiful. It's like a mermaid island. And according to the myth, Aphrodite was born here. So with like the island of beauty and sex and all of that. So I think it's very idyllic and nice and warm throughout the year, which I love. But yeah, I love it.
That's fantastic. So again, Chanel, if you would please put the book back up, because I know we have to wrap up pretty soon. Ancient Manifestation Secrets. And you can go to ancientmanifestationsecrets.com to find out where to buy the book and also how to sign up for this free workshop that George is offering to everybody. This is so exciting. Great stuff. And I love how you incorporated everything, your own lineage and more with this. You really pulled a lot of power into this whole piece that you've created. This is great.
I really feel passionate about like bringing the ancient wisdom into the modern times. And because I'm a native Greek, and a native Greek priest to Hellenic polytheism, I think it's also like part of my purpose to help bring that information like to the English language, because a lot of the texts have not been translated to English. So I'm reading in Greek and then translating and then bringing this information forward. So I see that like my life's purpose to do this.
That is really
fortunate for us.
It is incredible. Yes. Thank you for devoting so much time and energy to this. Well, George, unfortunately, we've run out of time. We could talk to you all night about all this, but we would love to have you back. So I know you must have another book on the way. So please keep us posted.
Always writing new books.
Good. Yes.
Well, thank you again. And everybody, we will be back next week with another wonderful show. And happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your turkey or whatever it is that you're eating for the holiday. Enjoy it all. Enjoy your family, your friends, dogs, cats, everybody. Let's make it a big connection this holiday.
Oh, definitely. A safe one.
Yes. So until then, everybody, we will see you on the Blue Highway. Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.